What is a logline and how do you write one? Hello my fellow storytellers, welcome back to Ask Pietro, the series where I answer your questions about screenwriting. Subscribe for more tips on how to become a professional animation screenwriter. Today we look at Gina's question. Hi Pietro, I'm struggling to come up with a logline for my script. Can you please give me some guidance? Of course, Gina. Let's start by defining what a logline is. We'll look at a couple of examples and I'll share a logline template that you can use as a starting point. And stick around until the end to learn about 6 tips to make your logline irresistible. Let's get to it. A logline is 1 or 2 sentences that tell the essence of your story. When people ask you, what's your movie about? Your logline is a great answer. Loglines are usually thought of as a communication tool to pitch your story, and they are sort of a currency in the script market. But what's even more interesting to me is that we can use writing our loglines as a diagnostic tool to learn if our story idea has a solid concept. For example, the logline for Kung Fu Panda could look like this. A clumsy panda who dreams of Kung Fu must prove to be the hero that can save his village from a revengeful warrior. The basic elements you need to include in your logline are the main character, the goal, and the conflict. We have our protagonist, he has a clear goal, and he faces clear obstacles. If your story is set up in a different world, which is very common in animation, it may be necessary to add that context so it makes sense. In a distant future where humanity has left planet Earth, a lonely garbage-collecting robot embarks on a space voyage that will decide the fate of mankind. The added context allows us to better understand the concept, while the logline is still short enough. While there's no one way to write your logline, here's a template from story editor Christopher Lockhart. It can be a great starting point. When your inciting incident happens, your hero struggles against the antagonistic force in order to achieve the goal before something terrible happens. You can find more creative logline examples in the video description. By the way, do you know that our video descriptions are full of goodies, like free PDF guides, recommended books and videos, and the link to join our new Write for Animation Academy, a community where you'll learn about the craft and meet other animation storytellers like you. You can learn more about it at writeforanimation.com/academy. Here are 6 tips to make your logline irresistible. Don't state the obvious. Avoid repeating elements that are given due to the genre or can be understood from the title. Anastasia, the last surviving daughter of Russia, joins 2 conmen to return to her family while escaping the revenge-filled wrath of sorcerer Rasputin. Since loglines almost always come with the movie title, it's not necessary to add Anastasia's name in the logline. Focus on the external stakes rather than the internal journey of the character. Focus on actions rather than feelings. Up. A dispirited old man travels across the world in his house levitated only by balloons, inadvertently taking a young Boy Scout with him. This logline doesn't mention Carl's emotional drive to travel, the death of his wife. The focus here is on the high concept of the adventure. Don't state the theme or lessons of the story. Coraline. When an adventurous 11-year-old girl discovers a door to a strangely idealized version of her home, she'll have to discover the sinister secrets lurking before she is trapped in this world forever. The moral of be careful what you wish for is suspiciously missing from this logline. For ensemble movies, focus on one character as the protagonist or talk of the group as a single protagonist. In order to escape prison, the notorious animal criminal band of the bad guys will pretend to seek rehabilitation in order to commit their biggest crime yet, until their leader discovers he genuinely wants to change his ways. Instead of singling out one character, the protagonist of this logline is the entire crew. Don't reveal the twist. Your story must work without the audience knowing the ending. Coco. A young aspiring musician enters the land of the dead to find his great-great-grandfather, a legendary singer, but he only has until sunrise or he'll join his ancestors in death. If you watch the movie, you know there is a big plot twist, but we didn't mention that in the logline. Don't include your characters' names unless they are real people, like historical figures, or a character is so well known that they need no introduction. Prince of Egypt. An animated retelling of the book of Exodus. Upon discovering his roots as a Hebrew, Prince Moses deserts his country to fulfill his destiny as the chosen liberator of his people. This is a retelling of the biblical story of Moses, a clearly recognizable character. This is why it makes sense to include his name. Now, show multiple versions of your logline to your fellow storytellers and rewrite it until it reads and sounds great. Let's try an exercise. Imagine the logline for your favorite animated film and write it in the comments below. You can also add your questions for a future episode of Ask Pietro. A great logline is especially useful to showcase a high-concept idea. If you wonder what that means, watch this other short episode of Ask Pietro. And if you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up, share and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. I'm Pietro Schito, and this is Write for Animation. Go write something great.